Imagine you are strapped into a violently vibrating seat, surrounded by the deafening screech of tearing metal and the blinding flash of warning alarms. Your landing sequence has catastrophically failed. The retro rockets stuttered, the parachute ripped, and now the heavy iron hull of your descent module has slammed into the ground with bone-shattering force. Your vision blurs, your ears ring with the sickening silence that follows the crash, and the faint, rhythmic hiss of a failing oxygen valve echoes in the dark. You unbuckle your harness, your hands trembling violently, and you force the heavy hatch open. You stumble out into the blinding light, falling to your knees in the rust-colored dirt. You look up at the alien horizon, desperately waiting to hear the voice of mission control crackle in your earpiece. But there is only static. No rescue team is scrambling. No alarms are ringing back on Earth. You are millions of miles away from everything you have ever loved, utterly and undeniably alone, and this planet has already begun digesting you. From the glossy pages of magazines and the optimistic screens of science fiction, this world looked like our destiny. Stepping out onto the surface of Mars, your first instinct might be a profound sense of awe. The landscape rolling out before you is breathtakingly familiar. It looks exactly like the sprawling, sun-baked deserts of the American Southwest. Vast plains of undulating red sand stretch as far as the eye can see, punctuated by majestic, ancient mesas and the distant, towering silhouettes of dormant volcanoes. The sky above is a mesmerizing, hazy butterscotch, casting a warm, golden twilight over the rust-colored dunes. As the sun begins to set, the sky around it turns an ethereal, haunting blue, painting a masterpiece of cosmic serenity. You might briefly feel like a pioneer, a conqueror, standing on the edge of humanity's greatest frontier. But something is wrong. As you stand there, staring at the beautiful painted horizon, the illusion of the desert completely shatters. This is not Arizona. This is not Earth. The serene silence pressing against your helmet is not peaceful. It is the heavy, suffocating silence of an open grave. There is no wind rustling through unseen brush. There are no birds. There are no insects. There is an absolute, terrifying absence of life. You have not landed on a new frontier. You have crashed onto the mummified corpse of a planet, a sterilized wasteland where the fundamental laws of nature are entirely openly hostile to your biology. But here's the problem. The sheer, terrifying scale of your isolation isn't even what is going to kill you first. You are standing on a world that is essentially a vacuum chamber, wrapped in a thin, useless veil of poison. Mars possesses an atmosphere that is barely 1% the thickness of Earth's. The air pressing against your visor is almost entirely carbon dioxide. It is practically a vacuum. Right now, your reinforced spacesuit is the only thing keeping the microscopic pressure of your internal fluids from violently expanding. If that crash compromised the structural integrity of your suit, even with a hairline fracture, you would not just suffocate. At this pressure, the boiling point of liquids drops drastically. If the seal of your suit breaks, the water in your eyes, the saliva on your tongue, and the moisture in your lungs would instantly vaporize. Your blood would literally boil inside your veins while you are still conscious to feel it. Your lungs would rupture from the inside out, turning you into a grisly, swollen monument to human fragility in a matter of excruciating seconds. You are walking a tightrope over an invisible abyss of decompression, and the rope is fraying. But it gets worse. Let us assume your suit holds. Let us assume you can breathe. The environment itself is composed of microscopic razors designed to dismantle your technology and your flesh. You look down at the fine, powdery red dirt coating your boots. On Earth, dust is an annoyance. On Mars, the regolith is a chemical weapon. This soil is not composed of smooth, weathered grains of sand. Because there has been no flowing water or thick atmosphere to erode the rocks for billions of years, every single particle of Martian dust is jagged, sharp, and statically charged. This dust clings to everything. It is actively working its way into the microseams of your spacesuit joints. It is grinding down the metallic seals, tearing at the thermal layers, and slowly blinding your external cameras. When the Apollo astronauts walked on the moon, the jagged dust nearly destroyed their suits in a matter of days. But Mars has a far more terrifying trick hidden in the dirt. The soil is absolutely saturated with perchlorates. These are highly toxic, corrosive chemical salts that are used on Earth to manufacture rocket fuel and industrial bleach. And this is where things change, because you suddenly realize that the ground you are standing on is actively eating you alive. Every time you take a step, you are kicking up a microscopic cloud of toxic bleach that settles onto your suit, slowly eating away at the polymers and life support lines. If you somehow managed to survive long enough to build a habitat, and you tracked even a handful of this dust inside, the perchlorates would attack your thyroid gland. Your lungs would scar. Your nervous system would begin to misfire and collapse. You are trudging through an endless ocean of razor-sharp poison, and every step is grinding that poison deeper into your only lifeline. But that's not even the worst part. The true horror of Mars is the invisible fire raining down from the butterscotch sky. Billions of years ago, the molten iron core of Mars froze solid. When the core died, the planet's magnetic field collapsed. On Earth, our magnetic field is a colossal, invisible shield that bounces the lethal radiation of the sun and deep space away from our fragile bodies. Mars has no shield. It is entirely naked to the wrath of the cosmos. You are standing in the direct line of fire of the most violent energy in the universe. A relentless, invisible storm of solar wind, ultraviolet radiation, and galactic cosmic rays is bombarding the surface every single second of every single day. These are high-energy particles traveling at a fraction of the speed of light, shot like microscopic bullets from exploded stars on the other side of the galaxy. When NASA sends rovers like Curiosity and Perseverance to the Martian surface, they have to physically bake the computer brains in thick, radiation-hardened titanium vaults, just to keep the subatomic shrapnel from instantly frying their circuits. But you do not have a titanium vault. You have human skin. You have DNA. Right now, as you stand in the beautiful golden sunlight, those cosmic rays are tearing straight through your spacesuit, passing through your muscles, your organs, and your bones. They are physically shattering your genetic code like a hammer smashing glass. You cannot feel it, you cannot see it, but you are slowly, methodically being irradiated from the inside out. You are a walking ghost. accumulating a lethal dose of cosmic energy with every breath you take. But here's the problem. The sun is starting to set. As the sky transitions from that beautiful, haunting blue into the absolute, pitch-black void of night, the temperature drops with a sudden, violent ferocity. Because the atmosphere is so agonizingly thin, it cannot hold any of the heat generated by the sun during the day. Within an hour, the ambient temperature plummets from a mild 50 degrees to a staggering, bone-crushing -150 degrees Fahrenheit. This is not the kind of cold you can bundle up against. This is a cold that breaks machinery and snaps steel. The microscopic heaters lining the inside of your suit immediately kick into overdrive, desperately draining your rapidly depleting battery reserves to keep your blood from turning to ice. You can hear the agonizing hum of the thermal regulators fighting a losing battle against the void. The cold begins to seep through the heavy boots, creeping up your legs, numbing your extremities. Your breath fogs the inside of your visor, the condensation instantly freezing into a thin layer of frost right in front of your eyes. You are standing in the darkest, most profound freezer in the solar system, and your power supply is dropping by the minute. But it gets worse. The wind begins to pick up. At first, it is just a low, haunting whistle echoing across the barren plains. But on Mars, the wind does not just blow, it weaponizes the landscape. You look toward the horizon and see a towering, solid wall of darkness rising into the sky, blotting out the stars. It is a Martian dust storm. These are not localized weather events. These storms can grow to engulf the entire planet, churning miles high into the thin atmosphere, creating a suffocating blackout that can last for months. As the wall of red dust slams into you, the sky goes completely, terrifyingly dark. The meager sunlight you were relying on to charge your suit's solar reserves is instantly erased. You are plunged into absolute blindness. The sound is deafening, a continuous roaring hiss of a billion toxic, razor-sharp particles sandblasting your visor, scratching the glass until you can barely see the glow of your own life support readouts. When NASA's Opportunity rover got caught in a global dust storm in 2018, it didn't burn up or explode. The dust simply blocked the sun, choking its power supply until the cold finally snapped its electronic heart. Its final, tragic transmission back to Earth was mathematically heartbreaking. My battery is low, and it's getting dark. And this is where things change, because you are not a machine. You can feel fear. Trapped in the roaring, blinding dark, with the cold seeping into your bones and the poison slowly eating through your suit, the true psychological weight of your situation crushes down on you. You are 140 million miles away from the nearest human heartbeat. Even if your radio worked, a desperate plea for help, traveling at the literal speed of light, would take up to 20 minutes just to reach a receiver on Earth. It would take another 20 minutes for them to say hello back. But no one is coming. No rescue ship can be launched in time. You are trapped in an impenetrable bubble of isolation that the human mind was never evolved to comprehend. The sheer, crushing loneliness begins to distort your reality. The wind sounds like screaming. The shadows in the swirling dust look like towering, monstrous shapes. You are losing your mind in the dark, severed entirely from the collective soul of your species, drowning in an ocean of dead, freezing sand. But that's not even the worst part. The final realization is the one that truly breaks you. You look at the readout on your wrist. Oxygen, 10%. Battery, 5%. The numbers are falling, cold and indifferent. You have fought. You have struggled. You have used every ounce of human ingenuity to survive the crash, the poison, the radiation, and the storm. But the planet simply does not care. It is not malicious. It is not actively hunting you. It is merely existing in a state of perfectly calibrated lethality. A massive, unthinking cosmic engine that processes human flesh the exact same way it processes dead rock. You fall to your knees in the swirling red dark. The heaters in your suit stutter, and a wave of absolute, paralyzing cold washes over your chest. The warning alarms begin to fade as the battery dies. The universe was never meant for us. We look up at the night sky and we tell ourselves stories of exploration, of conquering the red planet, of planting flags and building cities in the dust. We desperately want to believe that the cosmos is an empty house just waiting for us to move in. But the infinite does not care about our ambition or our bravery. Mars is a stunning, silent masterpiece of orbital mechanics, but it is also a perfect execution chamber for human biology. It is a monument to the absolute hostility of the void, a place where the elements act with a brutal, uncaring efficiency to erase anything that is soft, warm, and fragile. It does not hate us. It simply exists on a scale so grand and terrifying that our survival is fundamentally incompatible with its presence. We are fragile, delicate creatures, clinging to a tiny, warm blue rock, perfectly calibrated to keep our blood flowing and our lungs breathing. Beyond our thin atmosphere lies a dark, violent, and indifferent universe filled with graveyards. And the most terrifying among them is a world that looks exactly like a desert from home, spinning silently in the freezing void, waiting for nothing and burying everything.